All right, everybody. Brian from Rubcorp here, along with Roger.
Hello.
And we are honored to have our guest here, Coach Hanas, Trevor Hanas. Thanks for joining us. And of course, Cross. So thanks, guys, for being here with us.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Yep. So Cross, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Cross. I play hockey here. I'm from, or not here, I'm from Dallas originally, or born in Oklahoma. Grew up playing in Dallas here.
Okay.
Playing the WHL right now for the Portland Winterhawks, and looking to get drafted this summer to the NHL.
Good deal.
Good stuff. Yeah. So listen, obviously a very tight knit sport mad family. Okay, Trevor, is it 2 boys, 1 girl? Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us a bit now, because you obviously played a bit back in the day, the good old days, when men were when, and having teeth was a thing to be ashamed of. So, but today you found your sort of true calling and your passion in coaching. Tell us a little bit about that, how you got into it, and where you are today with that.
Well, I'm originally from Midwest Canada, and I grew up playing at the AAA level. Then I played in the same league that Cross is playing in, my son, back when I was 16 to 20. And then from there, I went and played pro hockey down in the States here. Started in Illinois, and then played a couple years there, and then also a couple years in Oklahoma, and then finished off. I guess it would have been in Oklahoma that I finished off. So it was a semi-pro, so it was just a level below the NHL. And then I got down here to Dallas, Texas in 2003, and a gentleman that a friend of mine that we used to play pro together started a hockey program down here, and so I've been down here for about 17 years now coaching, and I've coached all the way from 8-year-olds all the way up to 18-year-olds, and we've coached, I've coached mites all the way to midget AAA, and so I've had a great chance to just coach kids at a high level at different birth years, and you learn a lot along the way, but it's been great as a coach, and what you can get the most out of these players and kids, and what pushes each kid's buttons to get the most out of them and make a good hockey team. So, but this is my passion. This is what I enjoy. This is what I grew up with as a person, and I enjoy going to work because to me it's not hard, because this is what I love to do.
Yeah, I think spending a bit of time with you for sure over the last few weeks, you can definitely see the passion shining through. Yeah, everything you own.
Passion not lacking in your
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. So, we moved down here from Canada, right? So my son was born in Ottawa, and he grew up playing there, and moved down when he was 8 years old. So, tell everybody. So I get the same question, right? When I'm talking to people back in Canada and everything, like, Dallas hockey, what's the deal? Is your son able to find a team? Is there anywhere for him to skate? That kind of thing. I think a lot of people have that same question. What's your experience in the Dallas hockey scene down here?
Well, I mean, obviously every year the Dallas hockey just keeps getting stronger and stronger. In our program, like I said, I've been down here 17 years coaching. We've also got some coaches in our program that are from New York. We got Russia. We got other Canadian coaches. So all of us guys played at a high level. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't understand north of the border, is that the coaching down here and the facilities that we have is second to none. Right. And we do this is our full-time job. This is what we do. And we train these kids at a young age, and we get them at 8 years old, and then Cross went through the program all the way from 8 all the way up to 16. Right. And then he moved on to Portland. But so that's what I see. It's kind of funny because we go in some of these AAA tournaments, whether we go to Canada or maybe up north somewhere, and you'll even hear, like, let's just say we play a Canadian team, and you can hear a coach or players on their team saying, "Oh, we get to play a bunch of Texans today. Right. This should be an easy game, right? This is we get a mulligan on this one,
right?
And that just even brings more fuel to the fire for not only us as coaches, but the kids. Yeah. And we come out there, and all of a sudden, at the end of the game, we won by 3. And they couldn't believe it.
And how fun is that?
They think a bunch of Texas kids, they can't play hockey. That's not the case anymore. We're moving kids on to major junior hockey, to Division I colleges, getting full ride scholarships. Yeah. And also we got NHL prospects and pros now that are playing in the NHL from our program.
So good, yeah. So it's flourishing. It's flourishing.
Yes, absolutely.
And Cross, as far as you're going, you're 18. 18 years
Yes,
old?
sir, I'm 18.
At the moment. Tell us a little bit about your hockey journey to date. What age did you start? And just tell us a bit about the journey and where you are today at the moment.
Yeah, when I was younger, I think I started skating around 2 or 3, and then my dad said I didn't really like it, I guess, to start off with. I never really wanted to do it again because
most kids who are only walking at 2 and 3.
I was the dad that pushed a little. Yeah. My first child.
You get back.
So I'm like, get on the ice, let's go. And it kind of backfired for a moment.
For a little bit, and then I guess I want to get back on there, and I picked it up pretty easily, pretty quickly. I mean, just kind of like in my blood, I guess. Then I kept on playing from there. I started my first season around 5 years old, but I just played house league because it was the only kind of thing you can play. Right. I was playing with a bunch of guys way older than me though. I mean, I don't know, it wasn't terrible. And then when I started to play at 6 I could play an actual team on a mite team. So I started playing a year up there with him. He was my coach, and then you coached me for a few years, and then my first year elite started at 8 years old, right?
Yeah, I think it was 9.
9 years old, and then from 9 to 15, I was all there, or 16, I was all the way in the Dallas Stars Elite organization. Yeah. And then now I'm in the WHL here. So.
Do you remember? Was there a particular year that stands out for you? That's the turning point to where you that passion really got you, to drive forward and do as far as you can in hockey?
I don't think there's a certain point. I think I just always had it in me.
After you turned 2, of course.
Yeah. I think it was just always. I think I just always had that fire in me, just kind of always what I wanted to do. It's because I knew what I wanted to do, and when I wanted it, I kind of just I knew I wanted it, so I was going to do it. Yeah, that was probably
so,
it.
So you grew up, so often years you were playing with older boys in your group, right?
Yeah.
So that would really push you hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess being, sort of under the tutelage of your dad, playing and coaching for so long, he's been able to act as a mentor of sorts to you and kind of guide you on that process. Whenever you were playing, Trevor, back in the day, I guess cross was probably only a thought in your mind at that time. But cross, has Trevor been able to kind of tell you about those old days and what it was like back then playing hockey and how it might be different? Does he recount the old stories and tell you how great he was? And
well,
the older I get, the better I was, right?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to kind of not tell too many stories, but yeah, I want to let him know that this is kind of how the game was played and how Dad played the game back in the day. Yeah. Obviously, it's like anything. I mean, nowadays, the game's evolved a little bit, just like any other game has. Yeah. Guys are bigger, faster, stronger, equipment's better, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And guys are better on their nutrition and training and all that. So that's always been amped up a lot more. But I mean, as far as cross goes, I saw it at an early age that he had the passion for the game. Yeah. He loved watching hockey. He would always be out on the driveway shooting pucks or rollerblading. Yeah. He always watching on his on phone or the iPad videos or scoring, how to score goals. Right. I never had to tell him that kind of stuff. Yeah. That was something that he just did because, hey, as you guys said, when it's a passion, I mean, it's something inside, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
You just lit the fire.
Yeah, I kept the fire probably going.
Yeah.
These boys are surrounded by hockey at my house. So.
And how is it for you, Trevor? Then, whenever you're, I guess you've probably coached across, in some parts of his life growing up, especially when he's younger, maybe. And how is it for you whenever you're watching him playing now? Do you kind of sit back or are you really kind of on the edge of your seat? Are you kind of giving him advice where you feel like you should be sitting back?
Sit him in the car and yell at him after the game.
No, I mean, he's 18 now. He doesn't want to. He'll call me a lot of times. Hey, how did I play or what did I do? And I've come to the point where I just wait for him to ask questions, and then I'll give my opinion. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes we can tweak as much as we want and continue to go. What you need to do. I think there's a boundary in just how much you want to say. Yeah. But I think earlier on, in my earlier years, I tried to explain and give more detail to his game, to where he is now in the last 2 years. I know he's in a great place in Portland with a great coaching staff that knows the game very well, and so I just kind of let it over. But I mean, I'm his biggest fan. I mean, I'm the guy that's pushing him the most, and so I'm excited to see when he does well. But at the same time, I always told him that I'm not going to lie to you with your game. I'm going to always tell the truth. Yeah. Whether you had a good game or could have done this or that better, I'm always going to tell the truth.
No participation medals.
No, you don't get a participation medal. Right. Yeah. So,
but I think that thing can work well, you know, because a lot of, you know, from my experience, whenever I played not hockey, rugby, and my dad, he wasn't a big name or a big coach or anything like that in rugby, but he would always be there to kind of give you feedback.
Yes.
And he was always so strict, you know. He's always like, he never told me I had a good game until I was probably about, I would say literally about 25.
Really?
Even though I came off the field and thinking, geez, I played well today, you know, and going up to your dad and going, what do you reckon? He goes, yeah, you did all right. You did all right. So he was always there to kind of keep you on your toes, and it was only towards the end where he was like, yeah, you had a good game. So,
well, I think I've been a lot more lenient that one. I tell him when he has a good game, and he's had many a good games. You know, a lot of good games. So. And
do you, Cross, then feel, I guess, the influence of your dad being kind of a mentor and a guider in that way? Is he had a big effect on your sort of journey
for
so
sure.
far? Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like one that brought me into this game, and he's like pushed me all the way through, taught me a lot of things. Like you said, I could talk to him after every game pretty much. Yeah. Not even just now, but like after like games growing up here in Dallas where he'd drive me home. I mean, we talked about it and stuff. I mean, sometimes it'd be worse than others, but like, I mean, you still gotta like listen to him as much as I didn't want to hear it growing up. Yeah. I mean, it really helped nowadays, like where I actually do listen.
I think the thing, whenever it comes to feedback, you know, for me, it's always the honest feedback's always the best.
Yes,
you know, the worst thing you can be told is whenever you know genuinely you played average or you made a few mistakes and you didn't have your best game, the worst thing is for somebody to go, oh, you did great, because that's just not honesty, you know. And
that's right.
Although sometimes it does hurt at times to be told, you know, you didn't do great there today, you're always room for improvement. I think it's always really beneficial.
Well, we learn from failure, right?
That's right.
We learn from failure.
That's
otherwise
right.
You're going to get better.
So, but I do think that, like what Cross just said, is as he's matured and gotten older, now he understands, you know, some of the feedback that I gave him when he was younger, and it's making sense. You know, I just want the best for him, you know, as a dad and as a coach, and just want to, you know, you always want to try and get better, right?
So.
Hey, Cross, I just wondered, so obviously your season got cut short, like everybody's, and you guys were doing pretty well too, weren't you? What have you done in the past, I guess, 4 months now, or what is your training, you know, your weekly schedule? How you get through
when we came home, when everything wasn't really open yet, I was just doing my own workouts at home. I don't know, just going down to the park playing basketball with my brother or something, or just kind of hanging out at home. But then when stuff kind of opened back up, I got back to my normal routine, working out in the morning, skating in the afternoon, kind of just relaxing the rest of the day. I kind of just do that every day.
What kind of, you know, maybe somebody's watching here, but what kind of routine does someone at your caliber now keep yourself, you know, at a level, you know, so that you're ready once the season starts getting going again?
I mean, I have a really good program here over in my training facility that we go to. They work us out hard. They have a great program for us that we follow.
And that's Steadfast Fitness.
Yeah, Steadfast Fitness.
Coach Pete.
And I don't know. He's always got a really good plan for us of what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do things to get stronger and faster. And that is the biggest thing for my age to do, is to get stronger, faster, quicker in every area. So you can just add that to your game more.
So really focusing on your sort of muscle development and reflex and agility. Okay. Are you doing much on ice stuff as well right now?
Every day of the week I've been skating. I take weekends off just because it's nice. It's always good to have a couple of days off. But during the week, we have a few practices a week with a lot of the Dallas Stars Elite alumni that are around my age and have kind of moved on just like I have. So we have a really good group of guys out there, and I mean, it's always been some good practices, some good games that we have going. Really competitive sometimes because we're all really competitive guys, and we grew up together. So
and that's a fun and unique experience now too, to have all these guys. Basically, you're literally spread all over the country, aren't you? You know, exactly. And Oliver to be back, you know, and I'm sure you get all kinds of stories going.
It's true. It's just cool because we all like grew up playing together, all being kind of like on the same team growing up, and then we all are at that age now. We're all, like you said, across the country playing for different organizations, different teams, different leagues. Then we get to come back and play with each other and against each other during the summer, and it's just like old times. It's always super competitive, super fun, just all that stuff.
Awesome. Talking about competitive, okay, most sporting families, there is that inner kind of sibling rivalry and you know the parent-child rivalry. How is it within the family? Is there a competitive streak? Well, do you race each other to eat your breakfast in the morning?
Oh, as far as I mean the competitive level can get that high, very high, especially when they were younger. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, there's always something going on every day, especially with the three of them. And but as far as the hockey goes, my middle boy is he's coming along quite well in the last year. And but he knows and respects his older brother and where he's at and his potential and what he's done so far. But no, definitely between the four walls at home, it's high octane going on. I mean, it's very, very intense as far as just food or
everything
or
card games.
It's everything. It's fun.
Who is the most competitive? Is there someone who always spits the dummy out and you got?
I don't know. Like Crew, our middle boy, he's kind of like the quiet in public guy, but behind the scenes, he just he can have a bowl of Rice Krispies, snap, crackle, pop for sure.
Yeah, he's more the one. If you lose, he's like, you better watch out. Or I'm more the one that's just like, don't talk to me. Yeah. If I lose, just get away.
Yeah. He's the one chasing you down the street with a
yeah. My middle boy, he don't like to lose. That's for sure.
Yeah. I got a younger brother. I remember growing up like that too.
Oh yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. So
awesome. Just looking ahead, then. So big congratulations to you. End of this month or end of July, you've got the 2020 the World Junior Summit Championships.
World Juniors.
Congrats on that.
Awesome news. Well done. Yeah. That's a big, massive opportunity. So that's up in Michigan.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about that for people who wouldn't be too familiar with it.
Yeah. There's 43 invites, and the World Junior is kind of just like the highest level that you can play at as my age, like kind of like junior level. Like 18 or 19, 20, I guess would be. It's over Christmas break. It's like with nations, right? So it's like USA, Canada, Russia, Finland, like the best of those countries from that age. And it's a very high competitive tournament, and it's every kind of hockey player's dream is to play in that tournament for your own country. And I'm blessed to get the opportunity to get the invite as an underage to try to make this team this year. And if not this year, then hopefully next year also. I have 2 chances to make it. So, I mean, hopefully I can get that done. It's always been one of my dreams to play in that tournament for USA. So just like my cousin had the opportunity to play for Team Canada two years in a row, a few years back. And, I mean, it was just a really cool experience for...
big rivalry too, USA and Canada.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So how much better is Team Canada than USA as far as how many times? I'm just kidding.
No, I don't know.
Actually, the juniors it's getting closer.
It's real close. I know.
The Americans are closing the gap big time. Yeah. Hockey's really, really booming down here.
Yeah.
And it's because of things like our program, or you go to Southern California, they got great programs. I mean, it's the a lot of it's the coaching.
Competitive tournament too, isn't it?
Like look at Austin Matthews, who came out of Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona kid.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Yeah. And he was the #1 overall pick in the NHL draft in 2016. Plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, Scottsdale, Arizona for ice hockey. Yeah. I mean, that's unheard of.
It's just like Dallas, Texas.
And he's he's making whatever, $7-8 million a year now, and he's only in his 4th season, and he's an all-star in that league already.
Yeah. Who are the biggest countries in that tournament?
Ireland didn't,
no.
I don't think Team Ireland
unfortunately
quit making the cut.
They're not making the cut this time.
They just supply the potatoes for lunch.
I mean, it's Canada, it's US, it's Russia, it's Sweden, Finland, Czech Republic, and then you got a couple.
Germany's getting up there
Slovakia,
too.
Germany's really good.
Germany's
Switzerland's good.
Yeah,
Switzerland.
Can't pick any of these countries like that.
And then maybe you get one other lower end team, like maybe a Belarus or something like that that gets in
on the bubble.
But they take 10 teams, 10 countries.
Teams.
Yeah.
And then you got to play to make sure you get into that top 10 basically in the world, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where the initial sort of, is it a trial? It's at the end of July?
Yes.
And then
So
when's the actual tournament?
So yeah, at the end of July here, it's like it'll be kind of like a tryout, kind of just like a showcase.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like these are like the 43 guys they're looking at to make the team, to make up a roster of 24, 25 guys.
Right.
But yeah, the tournament's like over Christmas and New Year's. So it kind of starts like maybe like the 22nd maybe of December and ends like
26th, right after
Christmas. Oh, right after Christmas, that's
Is
right.
Is that same place up in Michigan? Or?
No, so this year it changes around like the world all the time. So this year's actually in Edmonton in Canada and Red Deer in Canada. So there'll be two places. There's kind of like two host cities for each tournament.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for it.
Thank you.
We'll be looking out for you and keeping an eye on things for sure. So, that aside, what are the kind of immediate goals, or what's the next step for you? And even if you could kind of look maybe 3 years down the line, where would you like to see yourself without getting too far ahead? Because I know hockey's, the culture is, it's very kind of, we're modest, and we don't want to go too far. But what would be the ideal scenario in the next sort of 3 years for your journey?
Yeah, so actually just coming up here, I mean, obviously we don't know when the draft's going to be, but whenever that happens, I mean, I hopefully get taken by some team here, and then this next season up in Portland, have a great year and try to get a contract from the team that drafts me, an entry level deal. I mean, probably play another year in Portland after this one coming up for a fourth season. But then my goal is to make either the AHL or even the NHL like a professional league at 20 years old, kind of after my 19 year, just like some of my teammates do in Portland, and it's kind of a really good road to take. Yeah. And it's kind of like something I kind of followed because I was a younger guy looking at them do it, and it's just kind of like, I kind of want to do exactly what he did and stuff like that. So, well,
modesty aside, it's always good to have a plan, overall goal, the sort of heights that you want to reach. So we'll be following your journey all along, and we wish you all the best for that. And Trevor, what are your thoughts as a proud father? Are you looking forward to following Cross's journey?
I enjoy every minute. I mean, I enjoy watching his games and just seeing him develop, and not only as a hockey player but as a young man. Like he's just really maturing, and he's 18, but a lot of days I wake up and I just feel like he's you can almost talk to him like a 22, 23-year-old man. Like he's more mature than what his age is. Yeah. And but I'm so excited about the draft for him, and this invite for the U.S. World Junior team, and just the journey. It's going to be fun. It's exciting.
I think as well, at that age, there's so many kind of distractions. With sort of your friends at that age. And, you got to have your head screwed on. You got to have that sort of focus, sort of blinkers on to get where you are. So it seems like you have got your head screwed on there. So if there's
you've been really determined and focused, right? I mean, I'm sure you've missed out on a lot of typical high school kid, going through. I'm sure. Have you been to a prom? No.
I've literally missed out on everything.
Right, that's what I mean. So but you don't care because you're focused with
he's dialed in.
You're dialed in.
Gone to like 3 different high schools.
Oh yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So. Chasing the dream.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely chasing the dream.
Yeah.
He's on that straight and narrow path.
Yeah.
Not the wide path. So that's good.
Who's your favorite player, or who's someone that you've looked up to in anywhere really?
Growing up, I mean, in the NHL, my favorite player is always like Evgeny Malkin for the Penguins. Just like the way he plays the game. I mean, he's always kind of just been like the guy I kind of like want to resemble my game after. Okay. I mean, I guess we kind of play alike, but I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer, so I can't really say that. But yeah, he's always been the guy I kind of like want to resemble myself after. I mean, he's just a big guy, works hard, very skilled, scores, power. Yeah, he doesn't back down. Like, I mean, I love that game out of him. Yeah. So I think he's always been kind of my favorite. That's why I wear 71. It's because he wears 71. I mean, I was wearing it since I was been like 7 years old.
There you go.
He's had the number every year.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even in Portland.
Really?
So he's got it. 71 since about you're right, about 7 years old.
Good deal.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for joining us here today.
No
it's
problem.
been fun.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.